this Thanksgiving time is a time for gratitude. That's how I see it interpreted in the Bay Area anyway. So what we could just do tonight, very, very briefly, and I want to tomorrow morning maybe do a something around gratitude as well. But tonight, just before as we settle into our meditation posture, just think of something or someone that you're grateful for. Just bring that person to mind, that thing to mind, something in your life that you're grateful for. And just bring that to your heart. And check your body, lengthen your spine. Imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light, stretching all the way up through the crown of the head. Shoulders are aligned with the hips. And the head is very slightly tipped forward, eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose. Tip of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth, and relax the jaw. And bring your awareness to the crown of the head and relax the scalp and the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth. Check the jaw again, back of the head. So just release any tension around that scalp, just at the base of the skull. And then bring your attention to your ears and the inner ear. Just relax. Just imagine, if you can, relaxing the ears and your temples. And go to the back of the tongue and relax the back of the tongue and the jaw, back of the neck. Allow your shoulders to drop down and the shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly, limbs, hands, fingers and feet and toes. And just bring the mind to the breath. Just noticing the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. So those very subtle sensations at the entrance of the nostrils. A little bit cooler as you're breathing in, a little bit warmer as you're exhaling. And you might even notice that the hairs that are inside the nose might be just moving slightly as well. And just be aware if there's any sound in your environment, just allow those sounds to be there. So try not to follow them, investigate them. Just allow them to kind of fade back into the background and then bring your attention back to the breath and just notice what's going on in your mind. As we are moving towards Thanksgiving week, some people are going all out with cooking and shopping and buying presents. So if that's something that's in your life, try and bring your mind back to the present. Letting go of expectations, worries, excitement, whatever's going on, just allow it to arise and then just let it go. Try not to judge or have opinions or thinking that you need to be more than you are right now, because you don't. So let's just put ourselves, there's a beautiful analogy by Mingyur Rinpoche, just on the bank of the river. Just sit there quietly watching the river flowing on by. And while we're there, while we're sitting on the bank, we're free from the river. So let's just bring to mind all the people of our life. So there's our loved ones. They're very dear to us. We try not to take them for granted. I think sometimes we do, but it's good to remember to try not to. These are people we have functional, constructive relationships with. And then there's those people in our lives who are difficult for us. And then there's the strangers. So again, bring to mind if anyone has changed place in your life over the past year or two, month, week. And then just trying, even though it's difficult, we're always going to love the ones we love, push away the ones we don't like. But it's good to try and even imagine the possibility of having an equal mind towards all sentient beings and an equal kind of an appreciation, even the ones we don't like. So we can start this by thinking everybody wants to be happy. Everyone's looking for happiness. Everyone's seeking it in their own way. And everybody wants to be free from suffering. And everybody has somewhere this incredible potential for this enlightened mind. We just try and keep it simple in our minds. So I think we'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life. And there's been some things in the news over the last week. So think of all those people who are involved in that nightclub and those young people who were killed in, I think it's Idaho, maybe. So just keep them in your mind and your heart, and also the perpetrators. So just remember there is no negativity that can't be purified. So this is a psychological process we're doing. So we create negativity with our mind, so we can equally create positivity. And this is what we're doing this evening. So we apply the four opponent powers. The first of these is the power of regret. So we sincerely regret from the depths of our heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day and in this life and in any of your past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And the reason we are regretting is based on this idea of karma, action. So everything we experience, all our enjoyments, all our problems, all based on our past actions. So having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we can't bear the thought of any future suffering that we ourselves will experience. So we know from our present suffering that we don't want it. So logically, we want to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. So also regret our delusions, our anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance, where we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. He has the medicine and the technique. So it's not that we're wanting this higher power, something to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves. We're doing the work ourselves by relying upon his methods. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. And you can also imagine, if you have a teacher, that this is the mind of that person manifesting in this Vajrasattva form for your benefit. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white cushion and a moon disk. Sorry, the moon disk is the cushion, and a lotus. And this lotus, although born out of mud, is untainted by that mud, just like our delusions, born out of Our enlightenment is born out of our delusions, just untouched by them. Has this beautiful radiant face. His eyes are long, shaped like lotus petals, and they're peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents a union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened by this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva. May I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you, and particularly because they are going to suffer as a result of the harm they've caused you. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And here we come to the power of the remedy, and this is where we take the medicine. So it's doing the practice, visualization, and mantra recitation. So we start with the body, and imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sending powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, a quite forceful waterfall. You can even imagine a shower coming from his heart, and it kind of arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Drita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mebiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Drita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Drita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Drita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Drita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Drita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Drita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there is no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And so next is a purification of speech. And Vajrasattva again very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, which overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So it's just imagine that all the kind of gossip and harsh speech and useless speech and lying, talking badly about others behind their backs, and all this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you and overflowing quite strongly as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Sipokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Sipokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Sipokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Sipokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Sipokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Sipokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Sipokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So again, feel so delighted. Your speech is now completely purified. So really imagine that it is, and that it's not possible to do anything other than be a benefit to others with your speech. So the next is a purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you turn on a light in a room that's dark, it instantly dispels the darkness. So it's the same here. Just imagine the moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart touches your heart, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so any depression or anxiety or anger or bitterness or grudges, worry, just all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Sipokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mepi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mebi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mepi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mepi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mepi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mepi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham So just be again, rejoice, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of your suffering and the cause of why all of us harm others with our body and speech and our mind, ourselves with our mind. And think now it's all gone and there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. So you can imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar this time. If you wish, you can do a couple of mantras for each of those visualizations we've just done, body, speech, and mind, or else just imagine light and nectar pouring in, filling you completely, and eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mepi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mepi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mepi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mepi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mepi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Now feel you are completely purified, not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So now we come to the power of resolve. And this, again, as we always say, is the most crucial step. It's the step where we decide we don't want to harm. So we're going to start by thinking about refraining from harming and just practicing a little bit here and there. So whatever it is you're working on right now, whether it be your speech or food or whatever, just think I'm going to refrain from this negative self-talk, whatever, make the timeline doable, something that works for you. And maybe set some time aside in the morning in your meditation or during the day. Maybe set a notification on your phone or your watch, or just to remind yourself to think about what it is you want to refrain from. Maybe think of a theme for a week and just decide, I'm just going to make this a project for myself. And Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my guru's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind become the same. So next, Rinpoche recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the three circles. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. So in this way, we can think of all phenomena as empty. They do not exist from their own side. Or just very simply, think that perhaps the way things are appearing to me, the way I'm seeing things, the way I perceive things, may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, any positive energy we've created this evening doing this purification, to all the people of our life, to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso, I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, O Tup Shul Chang Shin Jam Gon Galloway, Tenzin Kyong Pelway, Kunzo Dog Porze, Shog Sum Gurway Leg Mon to Droop, Ha Dag Sog Dulje, Kondu Jab Ten Shog. Lama Ursel Venerable One, to whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers and far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us in intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request, O Lama, please live long. And because you share a beloved teacher leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Okay, there we go. Another day gone like a dream. Sleep well, everybody. I look forward to seeing some of you tomorrow morning. Thank you very much for hosting. Mary, lots of love. And particularly you East Coast people who it's definitely bedtime now. So thank you so much. Okay. Good night, everybody. Sleep well.
Thank you, Global.